All right,
Stream
welcome
is
in
live.
everybody back to our live show today. We got Chris from Slot Machines Unlimited here, and we are going to be talking about home game rooms. If you want to make a home game room in your house, if you want to do a casino theme and have some slot machines, he's the man to get them from. He's got just about every game under the sun, and that's what we're here to answer those questions about. So, welcome in, Chris. It's been a while. It's been a while
It
since
has
uh,
you
since we've
you
had
know
you on.
it has been. You're the big politician guy now, so
Yeah,
you're too busy for little guys like us. Just trying to scrape by, and you're setting all the
not
rules.
at
And
all.
no, but
Not
it
at
has
all.
been. What is it, right before Christmas? Maybe before we.
Yeah, it was a little bit before Christmas, I think, was our
Yeah.
last show. So
So how
it's
how
it's
is
been a
the new gig? Solid. I mean, it challenges.
it's busy. It's
Yeah.
it's
Well, that's
involved.
good.
It's got its challenges, but it's very involved. I will just say
Yeah.
that. But it's
Learning a
been
lot,
it's
I'm
been
sure.
good. Oh,
You're learning a lot.
learning more and more every day. You learn how you don't really truly learn about how government works until you actually get into the government, and then you're like, oh, holy crap, okay. Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, it makes sense. I, so, so what's going on, man? You just were in Vegas. I don't. I'm gonna say it incorrectly. The Fontainebleau. You
Yep.
told me a little bit about that. You don't have to go into details, but I guess my question is, how is that casino? I have not been in that casino. Is it? I heard
Fountain
it's
Blue,
beautiful, but
it is
like,
it is a beautiful casino. I think the big thing for me, and you would appreciate this too.
mhm,
So they don't have a lot of classic games, but the classic games they've got some S2000s like the ones behind me. They have some of them, but when they bought those games, like they completely stripped
they're-
it down and made it look brand new. Like they look
yeah,
like they just came out of the factory. It's nuts. But I think the big thing for me about Fountain Blue that I love is just the cleanliness and the staff. Like they're very friendly, they're very helpful. It's one of the most open and
mhm,
airy casinos I've ever been in, which because I don't like sitting next to, like if I'm sitting there and playing a game, I don't want to be shoulder to shoulder next to somebody.
correct.
So
Yeah.
I like how it's spread out. Everybody has space. You feel like everybody has space, and so that to me is really important. I like the Fountain Blue for that reason, and it's typically quiet. Especially like during the early hours of the day or during the week, it's pretty quiet, so you get your pick of games, which is also
Yeah.
nice. It's not like dead center of the strip where it's just like packed all the time. So it's kind of its own little oasis away, which is nice.
So yeah, I'm
But
gonna go in there I'm going out to Vegas next week. I am gonna go there because I haven't been. I've been to Durango. But you mentioned the S2s that are in there. I've seen some of the refurbs that some of the guys do that are licensed to sell the machines back, and they do a legitimate, like, full on. They redo the doors, power code. I mean, they spend thousands of dollars on
everything.
on the redo. It's not like what we do. It's just not. It's not to that caliber. And like, I actually sold machine. I think we talked about this before. I sold machines to somebody that sold them to Circus Circus for the coin handling, the older machines, and I know what they look like when they left. I knew they were going to redo them, and they look brand new. They're 20, 25 years old, and
Yeah,
it's a lot of them are
it's
not,
crazy.
lots of fun. Yeah, they power code it. I mean, and in Vegas, you can take a power washer to the machines. You can't do that in Ohio, or because there's no humidity. So they take the machine, like, they can power wash and get the shit off of a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's pretty cool. So any other trips coming up soon, or anything else going on? You get
Probably
any new machines
not.
coming in?
No new machines coming in yet. I'm actually like, and this is one thing that I need to do here in my game room to make it better. But I'm eventually going to replace the drop ceiling because obviously I'm
Hmm.
in my basement. I've got a drop ceiling. It drops down by like a foot, but the problem is I'm really limited on height space. So like if I
Yeah,
wanted to get any kind of a game like like even a twin star is too tall with the topper. So I'm pretty much like the Ainsworth cabinet that I got from you, that's touching the
hmm,
ceiling. So that's as high as I can go is that Ainsworth
gotcha.
cabinet. So but once I take the ceiling out, I can get taller machines that are, a little bit
Yeah,
better
that's how they're
selection,
going. I
but
mean, the stuff we're getting in now is massive. Some of
Yeah.
these machines I can't even
Well,
sell 'em. I can't ship them. They're too
well, I
big.
know
I
that
can't sell them.
I've seen on the market recently, even like the cabinets that have like hot pots, huff and more puff. What's that cabinet called? The newer Light and Wonder cabinet.
That's a Cascada, Cascada.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
those are starting to come onto the private
the
market now. I saw
yeah,
that.
there was some on a bid. Actually, there was some down on a bid at Gila down in Arizona. Um, there was four of them for sale, and I remember because I bid the list, but then they took them off because they probably had book value, and like we were
Yeah.
pumped because it's the first time I've seen them on.
They've got some good value to them.
Yeah,
They do.
they'll go for about 15 grand, but again, that's not a machine we're focused on selling to a
Yeah.
homeowner. It's going to go to an operator. We're not even going to sell, even if a home buyer wanted to buy it. I mean, unfortunately, it's just we have to package that for them, like if to buy the container loads of machines. Um, so yeah, that newer set, the J43s are massive. They're hard to ship. The Wave XLs. And we have some of those big Wonkas. Like I sold one to a good customer that I've had for a long time. And I'm like, we got it done. And I'm like, I don't know how we're gonna ship this
Yeah.
because you have to take it apart. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I am not going through this headache. I don't want to have to deal with a bunch of Larry Valencias. There's Italian guys that get all worked up when there's a problem.
Right.
So
Well,
so so yeah, so we basically canceled the orders. Like I can't have somebody drive a machine down there. I mean I could, but we're kind of
right.
past that stage. Um,
That's a big one to ship and pretty difficult
yeah,
to do
it,
it.
they're big. So, but yeah, so doing the drop ceiling is going to open up a lot more options for you.
Oh
And
yeah.
get you a J43 or Twin Star in there.
Eventually, you know how home ownership is. It never ends. It's always a project at some point. So
It is,
there's
yeah. Home ownership,
always
even
something to
for us
do.
on our side, it's a love hate. Home ownership is the most difficult part of our business.
Oh yeah.
But it's our bread and butter. It's how we started. It's how we grew. Uh, I get they give me a hard time for it because I won't let it go. Um, but it just is what it is. We're the only ones that really do it. So
Right.
and for the most part, we're good at it. So we'll keep doing it, and it allows me to employ people and make good living, and I move equipment. It's a win-win all the way around. Um, except for like when you sell something to Larry and it goes bad, and then
Yeah.
his Italian attitude comes out, and you got to call him out, and then he's cool.
Oh,
So now I know how to handle
oh,
Larry.
is it
So
this
we're
Larry?
yeah, that's the Italian Larry. I studied him on Facebook.
Larry.
He goes,
Hey, hey,
how
Larry.
the hell did you know I was a White Sox fan? I said, man, I learned a lot of my business stuff from Gary Vaynerchuk, and he taught me the story about Jay Cutler when he used to sell wine, and he sold wine to somebody, and he noticed that that person all over the internet was a big Jay Cutler fan, the football player. This is about 15 years ago.
Did we lose you? I think we might have lost Chris there for a minute, but we do have a super chat here from Sue, $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much for that, Sue. Really do appreciate it. Let's see. We'll go ahead and we'll start taking some
And
questions here too.
his
We'll
marketing
wait for Chris to come back online there. Are you back with us, Chris? Maybe. All right. I think Chris is still out there. So we'll go ahead. We'll start taking some questions here. Um, let's see. Oh, there you are, Chris. You're back.
I'm back, Larry. I'm giving you a hard time, man. I had to. If I knew if I was super serious, I would never bring it up. So don't get. I'm giving Larry a hard time because backstory is we sent him a machine. The monitor. Guess what machine it was? The monitor went out. Just guess. Monitor.
It was
23-inch monitor.
G23.
Of course, it's the worst monitor on the market. It worked perfectly fine. After a day, it took a shit. Those monitors fucking suck. So, but anyways,
Let's go ahead and let's
let's
get
get
to
some
some
questions
questions
going.
here because we got some questions in here. And by the way, guys, if you are just now joining us, this show is all about home slot machine ownership and buying slots for your house. If there is a game or a machine that you are looking for that you would like to maybe start building your home game room or add one to your house, there's a phone number on the screen for Slot Machines Unlimited. You will get a discount by mentioning today's show, so be sure to do that. So give them a text. Text is always best, right, Chris?
Yes, text is always best, as I don't always answer my phone. Too many spam. But anyways, yeah, text is always best, and we keep the conversation on what we talked about as well. So we can go back if there's ever any issues or miscommunication. Hey, this is what I said. You said blah blah blah. It's 2025, so text is better.
All right. First question here is from Kevin Nix. Can you legally own a slot machine in Alabama? What's the answer to that one, Chris?
Um, I They have to be 25 years or older in Alabama. I don't remember the exact. I could be wrong. It might not be. It might be you can't, or there's an age restriction. I don't know it off the top of my head. I mean, we could look it up and I can answer it,
I think
but I
there's
can't.
we do have a slot buyer's guide on our website, which I'll um, pop up for you guys. It's at
Getting old.
ropethejackpot.com. And on that website, on the slot buyer's guide, we do have there's a link on there where you can check your state's rules for what your state allows and doesn't allow. So check that out, ropethejackpot.com. And it's under the slot buyer's guide. Easiest place to find it is just go to the shop and click on the first one. That's the easiest place to find that slot buyer's guide. The next question we got here. Hold on, I gotta scroll back because I'm getting all jumbled around here. There is kind of a two-parter. Simon and both Suzanne ask a similar question about power consumption. Slot machines run off just a standard outlet. So standard outlet, it doesn't
Okay, do
require
slot machines
anything special or
110
different.
or 220? Actually, can you hear me? We're
Yeah. All right, I think we're losing you. We're losing Chris again. Standard outlet's
is
fine.
that?
There's Chris, are you back with us?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but okay. Sorry.
Did you want to take this one? I think we might be losing him then. But so standard outlet, they don't require anything super special. I would recommend, however, get a really good surge protector or what I use. I have the APC battery backup units. Just get one for one machine. Don't put a whole bunch of them on the same one because it will overwhelm it. But if you're doing battery backup units, just get one for each device. It's the easiest.
Hmm.
We did that all the time as for even delivering machines. Most slot machines at the casinos, they have one unit for each of them. But standard outlet is fine. They don't need anything special. And Suzanne, kind of piggybacking off of that, how much energy do they use? It depends on the game. It depends on the device. I know, like all mine, you can kind of help it out a little bit. So on my older units back here, I replaced all of the incandescent bulbs with the LEDs. So that does reduce it, but you really don't notice. I mean, is your power bill going to go up? Most likely it is, but it's not going to go up exponentially.
I tell
They're
people it's
not
like a
using a whole
TV.
bunch of energy. Yeah, it's like a TV. They don't really use a whole lot of energy, so nothing really too much to worry about on that front. And Lucky Jules, thank you so much, by the way, for being a moderator, Lucky Jules. Really do appreciate it. Chris,
Yes.
this is a question that I also have to ask you. So Lucky Jules says, how difficult is it to get a Dragon Link or Dragon Cash slot machine? The cabinet is pretty easy. It's the Helix cabinet. The
So
Helix has most of them. It's the software that's the problem. But what's that
yeah.
what's that looking like now, Chris?
So the Dragon Link or Dragon Cash, it's virtually impossible to get, and here's why. It's a proprietary game, and that software actually it's leased out by Aristocrat. So the casino pays a daily fee to own that software, $50, $100, whatever it is. When they sell the machines, move the machines, get rid of the machines, that software goes supposed to go back to Aristocrat. So it's pretty much impossible to get that software. So
Yeah,
hopefully that kind
that's
of
the
answers that
problem.
question.
It's not the cabinet that's the problem. It's the software. Although I will say that the Helix cabinets are the Helix cabinets in general are fairly easy, aren't they, Chris? Like to get
The Helix
just the
cabinets?
cabinet.
Oh, I
Yeah,
have like 200 probably now. Yeah,
yeah.
they're all over the place.
I've been wanting to get one, but the only problem is the software. Because pretty much you get one, and it's like the only software that's really available for it that's widespread is a Buffalo.
Yeah,
That's
and
about
like the
it. But
Buffalo Gold and the Buffalo Collection, like we could get that software, but it used to be like $400 or $500. Now it's up like $900. So
yeah,
because it's just getting harder to get. So it's the game, right, that plays. It's like having a PlayStation. Everybody wants Twisted Metal 2. So if you can't find Twisted Metal 2, um, uh, then the price is going to go up.
yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, it's kind of the
Yeah,
same thing.
it's pretty much the same thing. It's not the device, it's the software that's the issue. So some of these popular games, like I know for me, like I would love to have Mo Mummy at the
Yeah,
house,
you can't. It's the
but
same
I'm
thing.
sure
You
that's
can't get it.
it's the same thing. And we do have some super chats and super stickers, by the way. 9.99 from Susu. Thank you so much for that. Really do appreciate it. And also like, subscribe, and share, y'all. 19.99 super chat. Thank you very much. We really do appreciate that. That goes to help out the channel, so we greatly appreciate that. All right, so let's see here. We're gonna go back. We got some questions here. Birgit asks average cost of a slot machine. Honestly, it's gonna really vary and depend. Um, I mean, if you're wanting an old device, you know, probably around $1,000, if not less. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris. But if you're wanting, something newer, I mean, it's a pretty broad range. They're not just one price. And then you have to look at also you know the game. So like for example, like an old school pinball is going to be much more expensive than an old school triple stars is going to be. And those prices do fluctuate too. They fluctuate with obviously market demand and everything else that's going on. But probably the best thing to do, if there is a particular machine that you're looking for or a particular game that you're looking for, the best thing to do is to text this number what you're looking for, and just get a better idea of the cost of that. And also, Chris, you guys can put stuff together too, right? For folks.
What do you mean by put stuff together? I apologize. Like, what do you mean
So
by?
like if you have if you have a cabinet, so like say the somebody wants, I don't know, an Ainsworth game, you have
Mhm.
the cabinet and then you can go find the software
Yeah,
for
then we
it and
can
kind of
find the
put it
software like we
together.
did for you. You wanted what Multi Win
Yeah.
7, right? So
Yep.
we might have like right now I have a ton of Ainsworth. I have a ton of Ainsworth. So, but if somebody wants a specific game, which is Multi Win 7 is typically one of the more popular games for that. If we have it, then it's going to go in it. If not, I gotta go find it, find that software from other sources, vendors, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can build games just like even like behind you. Like if people can see that Tabasco machine, that can be built into a double diamond, a triple diamond. All the games and everything can be interchanged and swapped. So it's again, it's the best way I look at it. It's like a video game console, and you can switch out the cartridges. Now there's more to it
Mhm.
than that, but it's kind of the same concept.
And kind of building on that, Billy had a question. What's the least expensive machine that you could sell?
What's that?
Billy's question was, what's the least expensive machine that you could sell?
Around $1,000 is about our cutoff. After that, it's just we just kind of about $1,000. Like, and then that would be like a machine behind you, a S2000.
Yeah, like one of the older ones there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Cruising with Thomas, he has a WMS BB2. Is there some kit or anything he can get to play BB3 or BB1 games?
On the Bluebird 2,
Yeah,
yeah. So if you wanted to do a Bluebird 3, you'd have to buy a Bluebird 3 CPU, and then there's a conversion cable that you could get, and then you'd have to buy the software to put into it. To do a Bluebird 1 on a Bluebird 2, I mean, you would use a blue like if you wanted a super jackpot party, let's say, you would just buy honestly you would just buy super jackpot party. I don't think you can play Bluebird 1 games on the Bluebird 2, not every single one. There's some of them are just you just can't. I don't have the best technical answer for the Bluebird 2 down to the Bluebird 1 swap. I'm not a tech, but there I'm sure there's some that you can do, but it's more common to see the Bluebird 2 to Bluebird 3 swap.
yep. Let's see. We got Gamer House. That's a fitting name, Gamer House. We're talking about games in your house. So that's a fitting name for the show. Welcome in. Should you turn off the machine if you are planning to not use it for a while? No. The answer is no. These games are designed to be
Leave it on.
left on. Leave it on 24/7. Leave
Leave
it
it on,
plugged in.
Larry.
Leave
Leave
it
your
turned on.
G23 machine on because I don't want to hear that your monitor
Yeah,
went bad again. Leave the machine on. Don't
yeah.
turn them off. Well, I just
Most,
turned it off for a couple of days.
that's so here's a couple facts for you about slots. For starters, if you ever are going to encounter issues with your slot machine, it's most likely due to you turning it off and back on again. That's number one.
And
Number
that's our
two
honestly
is
that's our
there is
biggest
a
issue.
yeah,
Sorry. Go ahead.
no, you're good. But there is a battery on the board of every single slot machine. That battery is a short-term memory battery. So the machine is designed to be left on and left turned on all the time. Like they put it in the casino, they turn it on, casinos open 24/7, they leave them running. That's how they're designed. That battery is there for, essentially if the power goes out for a little bit or something, like it can save the place of, like if you were in the middle of a bonus, it knows to come back to the bonus, stuff like that. That battery does not last long. So
Hmm.
if you, and the machine will not work without that battery if that battery is dead. So if you say, "Oh, I'm going on vacation for a week," and you turn it off, that battery is most likely going to die. And some of those batteries are either soldered or hardwired onto the games, depending on if it's an older game, especially. So now you come back from your vacation and you turn your machine on and you're like, "Oh, it doesn't work. It doesn't power on. It says main battery low," or whatever the case may be. Well, now you have to take the whole thing apart and you have to find that battery. You have to take it off and replace it. Some are easy, some are not. Um, Leave the machine on. Leave it on all the time. That's the best advice that I could give anybody for doing that. And Jackpot Beauties, welcome in. Appreciate you being here. 9.99 super chat, enjoying the live. Thank you for the info and the discussion. You're very welcome. Guys, if you haven't done so, please do subscribe to Jackpot Beauties. They have a wonderful, fantastic channel. Awesome, awesome person. Really, really enjoyed getting a chance to meet her. Play. We played slots together. It was awesome. So be sure to subscribe to Jackpot Beauties, guys, if you have not yet done so
I have not.
already.
I have not.
Well, Chris, you need to.
I will. Super important for me,
She's
so I will.
awesome. And Suzanne was asking how much is a double or a triple diamond machine? Can I get one that does real money? Chris, I'll let you take this one.
So a double, triple diamond machine, they usually run 995. What do you mean by real money? Is they can take bills just like in the casino, and then they will print a ticket, or they will we can do what's called hand pay, where we disable the ticket printer, turn the key, and it clears the credits. Well, we don't do coin handling anymore. You can't find it. We have some but I'm saying I just don't want to mess with it. It is a pain in the ass, the coin handling. I love to hear the coins drop out of the machine. I get it. I don't like to hear your phone calls that the coins are stuck at 10 o'clock at night on a Tuesday. I'm kind of over that phase. So, um, and it's just not out there. I mean, there's coins at a couple casinos in Vegas. I'm sure there's some other places, but we don't even get this stuff anymore. So, machines will take bills, obviously, but they're not going to pay anything out physically to you. Just because you put $100 bill in the machine and you win $100, it's not going to pay you $100 outside of ATM. So
Yeah.
hopefully, it's the most of the double diamond, triple diamond machines. They run around $1,000. If you get any add-ons like a Tito and stand and shipping, then it kind of goes from there. So hopefully that answers your
And
question.
and then I know Double Diamond Deluxe most likely going to be the same thing. Um,
Yeah, pretty
by
much.
the
We just
way, I have so most of these machines were actually converted. Well, those two were converted. That Triple Stars wasn't, but the other two down there were converted. And one was a Double Diamond Deluxe, and one was a Triple Diamond. And I have the glass and the reel strips and all that software just shoved in a closet somewhere. So, Chris, if you ever need a Double Diamond Deluxe kit, I
you
have
got me.
one.
Okay,
I can send it to you. I
you do
got
that
you
for me.
on that.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Uh, Cruising with Thomas was asking if you sell that CPU and kit for the BB2.
We do. Yeah. So we
All
have the
right.
CPUs, and then there's a wire thing. Probably gonna run you about $450 for the upgrade, and then whatever software you decide to do. There's tons of software on the side now. I'm gonna put a disclosure on there because actually we're having this kind of internally back at our shop is us selling parts. And don't think hopefully nobody takes this the wrong way, but it is what it is. We're not gonna help you. We're not gonna help you troubleshoot your machine or anything like that. We sell you the part and you're on your own. And so yeah, we would. There's videos on the internet. It's not that difficult to do.
All right, let's see. Going through, and folks, just as a quick reminder, so if you're just now joining us today, we got Chris from Slot Machines Unlimited here, who we're talking all about home slot machine ownership. I got a visitor. Go away. It's going to try to play in the wheel. Um, so Chris from Slot Machines Unlimited here. Tonight's live stream topic is all about home slot machine ownership, buying slot machines for your house. That's what this show is about. That's what this topic is about. So we're only going to be taking questions in relation to purchasing slot machines for your home during this show here today. All right. Let's see. And another question here from she's playing in the wheel. This cat, oh, she does this. That's why I had to get a cover on the wheel, because she gets in there and she likes to play in the wheel. Stop. Go.
Andrew Avery does a great job. Uh, I'm pretty damn lucky, blessed. Regardless of his age, but I've got a 20-year-old kid that
I think you might have froze up there, Chris. Chris will join us back here in just one moment. So we got little technical difficulties going in on that side. Chris, just let me know whenever you get back to there. You are. You're back. Okay. There. So do you buy machines at auction or
okay, got
contacted by casinos to offload them?
So basically, that's kind of a double-edged um, sword, not a sword, but double-edged question is so casinos will email me lists or we'll contact casinos like, hey, do you have anything for sale? But we'll get list of machines for sale. Like for example, next week I'm picking up stuff from Main Street, California, and Fremont, 800 machines downtown Vegas, and that's a contract I've had for many years. They send me the list, I give them a number, what I'll pay for them, and then we go from there. Now it is an auction, so maybe I bid X amount and then somebody else bids another amount. I may lose it. I mean, I lose bids all the time because there are other companies that do this. Not really in the retail space. I mean, there's some, but it's again, it's not really to this scale or magnitude. There is a lot of this is just one side of the business. Our main business is selling machines overseas to operators, to people that are making money on the machines. That's our main business. And then another part of our business is those 800 machines I'm getting from downtown, they're going to a scrapyard in Dallas. I'm throwing all of them away besides probably 100 machines that are worth money. And the other ones, I'll take the parts out and I'll use them or sell machines. So there's a lot of moving pieces that go into it rather than people think, well, you paid $100 for the machine. Like, there's a lot. You got to ship it. All that stuff in downtown is pretty rough. Some of it's in rough shape. For the Fremont itself is a parking garage. There's 220 machines down there. I got to have four guys take them up an elevator through the casino, outside to a box truck, the box truck to a park this is on Fremont Street. So it's very, very manually intense, and I got to pay for the license to get the machines out. And I got shipping back to Ohio. I got 6 trucks going to Dallas of machines. So and they're just going to strap them. I'm going to get the BVs printers and the CPUs, and I'll sell that stuff overseas. So that's kind of give you guys a different idea of what we do. Some of the people might see our videos on the TikTok or Facebook. Oh my God, you're throwing all this stuff away. Yeah, I get it. There's some money there. Like, there's parts and there's like, guys, there's only so much we can keep. There's just so much. Because of the amount of volume we move at the level that we're at now. Uh, so hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. But yeah, a lot of times it'll be kind of like I guess a silent auction. So I'll bid on a deal $50,000 or whatever it is, and maybe Brantley will bid 52,000. But he's gonna win the deal because paying more money typically, unless I have a better relationship with the casino or whatever. Sometimes I just did a really big deal in Washington. We did about a $200,000 deal in Washington where we took all their machines, and now they have $200,000 worth of parts credit. It's actually a lot. That's a lot better for me. I have to put the cash out for it, and I get the machines, and then they get parts. And then instead of it going up top, to the owners, the casino department's going to have parts budget for years. So that's another way we can structure it too. So
Nice. So definitely a lot going on
yeah,
with that. It's a lot more than people realize. Hey, this is a good question too from Alex. From Alex, how sensitive are the monitors to sunlight? I mean, I would not leave it in direct sunlight, especially those LCD monitors. That's, they are already prone to burnout, but I wouldn't leave it in direct sunlight. Um,
yeah.
Chris, what
I don't.
other
I mean, I don't.
it's pretty simple.
I don't have like a great answer for that. I would think it's kind of like a car, or because like I had my car sitting in Havasu, and it's like all for a year and a half because it was out there because we had a place there, and it's fucking destroyed now because of the sun, like the paint. I mean, it's just a get around time.
Right.
At the end of the, it's not that big a deal, but I would think it's the same with a monitor. It depends, right? So like you can buy an outdoor TV, you can buy an outdoor TV, but they're built different. These machines aren't built for the outdoors. So I would assume that direct sunlight or anything of that nature is not good for the monitor or gives it burn in. I mean, there's burn in the monitors now because they're
Yeah,
they're old. Some of
they're
them.
always on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shipping cost question. Shipping to California. What's the average cost for that? I mean, I know you pretty much ship most of them. Well, you got the Havasu location now, so you probably ship some stuff from there.
Well, actually, with Havasu, I'll answer the question and I'll let people know about Havasu. So, um, shipping to California, give or take, is going to be around 400. Depends if you're in Northern California in the middle of nowhere, it might be more expensive. Um, so yeah, and then there's no other slot retailers in California. No, there's really not. Again, and you'll find them on the internet, but it just depends on what you're looking for as well. But some of them, like I don't care. There's a company in Arizona, but they pretty much just do older S2s and Game Kings. Um, and then there's Colson Gaming that's in Phoenix. You know,
And then
I'm
we've
trying to think who else.
got Phil on here. So Phil, we've got a G23 question. G23, can you get Cleopatra and Cleopatra 2 on this slot? How many different games, not counting card and Keno games? Lives in Texas, and his wife gave him the go ahead to purchase. So
Well,
I know you can get
go ahead.
Clio and Clio too. Yeah,
Hmm.
I have Clio and Clio 2 on mine. How many different games? It'll hold a lot. Chris, do you know the exact number that it'll hold?
I don't know the exact number because each game probably has a different file size, so I don't have the exact number. But I will tell you this: for us for what we do, we put a limit on it. It's when we first started getting into the G20s and G23s, we're like, oh, just pick whatever game you want. People are putting 40 games, 50 games. It crashes the machine. A tech forgets to put a game on, and of course, it's always Grandma Sue's favorite game that they forget to put on. So then we got to send an e key that's $400 that we never get back, and then we got to walk somebody through how to set it up. And so what we've done is we've kind of outlined like a Game King package where you get all the Keno slots, blackjack, poker, and then you can pick 8 to 10 slot games, and we just cap it at that. If you want to go above
Yeah.
that, you're on your own, because we're just not going to stand behind it.
I mean, I love my G23. I've got a lot of games on there. It's probably of all the games in this room, the G23 is probably the one that I play the most.
Yeah,
And a lot of times it's usually I make myself a drink and I'll just sit and play video poker. Usually
yeah.
that's what I play. I've got a bunch of slot games on it, but I love Ultimate X, so I'll sit there and play Ultimate X on it. But you can put a lot on that G23, and yes, you can have Clio and you can have Clio 2. And he's also asking about the prices. Chris, you got any deals on those right now?
Phil, text Avery's number. Avery should be watching this. Maybe he'll
All
give
right,
you a
hold here
deal.
it on.
Okay.
There we go. All right,
There-
mention the show. because that G23 is a great. I would say that if you were going to have a game in your house, the G23 is probably the best way to go because you can do so much with it. You can do so much with
Correct.
it, but it, like also like what Chris was saying though, if you decide to start messing with the software and adding a whole bunch of extra stuff on it, obviously it's still a computer. It's going to get bogged down if you overload it with too much, which I've done that myself where I've just overloaded mine and then run out of memory and run out of space and the machine doesn't function. I have to take stuff back off of it.
Yeah, but
So
the thing is,
that can
you know how
happen.
to do that, and
Yeah.
it is semi complex how to do it. It's very hard for, and our techs do a great job. They really do. It's very hard for them to be sitting here and trying to tell somebody that has no clue, and there's nothing. It's not the customer's fault on how to program a machine. It's difficult. That's why you don't see, look on the internet. That's why you don't see this newer stuff and a lot of people doing it because it's difficult to support this stuff.
Yeah.
But we do it, and we try to make it as easy as possible. There's a lot of options on the machines, but it's just like anything else. The more stuff you start adding and doing, more headaches happen. So we just really try to simplify it the best that we can. So yeah, but well, I'm sorry, what was this? Phil, just text Avery. Mention cowboy slots. And also, we had discussed I've got $500 worth of Amazon gift cards. So if anybody buys machines, the first five people, I think we got cut off again. First five people to buy
Nope.
machines,
Nope. You're good.
we'll send you $100 worth of Amazon cards on top of your cowboy discount. What's the cowboy
Double
discount?
dip.
You have to ask Avery. See what type of mood Avery's in. So text Avery. He's a young kid. He better be up right now. It's not even that late. He's gonna pretend that he's not hungover. He's gonna pretend he's tired tomorrow with his hair sticking up, and I'm gonna bitch at him in a funny way. So text him, make him work. But why and yes, G23s. We got you, Phil. It'll help you. Your wife will be happy.
G23 is a good. It's a
Yeah,
good
way to
machine.
go. G20,
And guys,
G23.
we'll take a couple more we'll take a couple more questions and then we'll round out the show here. Cruising with Thomas has actually a good one. I used to get some of this stuff and it's pretty cool stuff. And Chris, if you do run across this, I'm sure it'd be pretty popular. It'd be a popular sell. Do you guys ever sell like the marquees or signage that goes on the machines? I have quite a few and think they're cool to collect, so would love to buy a bulk of those. I mean, I know there's people out there that collect glass and stuff like that, but sometimes you can get some other pretty cool stuff. So, well, I mean, I bought this roulette wheel from Slot Machines Unlimited from Chris here. So, there's a lot of cool stuff that you can get. But what do you got for us, Chris, in terms of that?
As far as the signs go, look, I think it sounds cool. I think they're great. We will get some in from time to time. They go straight in the trash. But I buy them.
Ah,
Here's why they go in the trash. It's not like it's there. You see that cowboy slots neon light behind you? You see that? Imagine sending something that's 12 foot long by 8 with its glass. Like we're just not equipped to ship something like that. We don't know if it works. We don't have any way of yeah.
as I come in here with this.
We don't know. There's no way to ship it. So so yeah, it's like yeah, we'll take a sign on a deal, but typically they're broken when they come in. I don't want to. I don't. I just don't want to ship a fragile piece of glass across the country. I don't have a way to ship it,
Yeah.
and so it's just one of those things. Like it's when we get roulette tables, like the electronic ones. I've never sold one, and you would think yeah, they're worth a ton of money when they were new. They're worth quarter of a million
They
dollars.
I will say this because I used to work on those the really big electronic roulette wheels, like especially if it has like the physical big electronic wheel that in the middle with the dome over it that spins and stuff like that. That is a tech's nightmare to work on, and I would not
Brutal.
recommend that for a home user at all because you have to have there's a lot of other special stuff that you have like you have to have the laptop with the program on it and be able to dial into into it and it's
Well,
it's a pain.
it's not even that. it's even if we sold it overseas, we're going to sell it to an operator. If something happens, we can't support it. We don't have spare parts for those machines. So I'm not going to risk sending a roulette, a used roulette, probably 25, 30 grand, probably some more depending on the manufacturer or how new it is. Let's say it's $25,000. I'm not going to send the roulette to a customer in Paraguay that spends a lot of money with us and we can't get it we can't keep it working and they're pissed off. It's not worth it. So those go straight in the trash too.
Yeah.
Never sold one. And it's I bought them from casinos because I get excited like in the beginning and they never did anything. So
Actually, here's another good question. I'm actually surprised more people haven't asked. You got any of the S2000 pinballs right now? And what's their current price going for? I know it's fluctuated a lot in recent years. Um, I know the price has been going up, precipitously over the past couple of years on them. Do you have any right now, or what's the current market price on those?
no, I don't have any right now. I haven't had any. I don't know. It's been a while since we've had some. They go for around 10 grand, and
Yeah,
and they're probably going to go up as the years go by. What top three, four, or five popular machine of all time? Um, can't find them. We get a few a year, and I get 10 grand out of them. So to give you guys an example, as I said earlier, we've sold some S2000s to a provider in Vegas that only sells refurbished machines to back to the casinos. They have a very in-depth license, and I sold them to them for like 9 grand, and they sold them to Circa for stupid money. So I think there's some high limit pinballs in Circa that technically came from me, and then they redid them and put them in Circa. So I mean, I don't have to do anything, and I can get 9, 10 grand because they're going to just sell them back to the casinos.
yeah,
And 25 grand for a pinball to a casino in a high limit room is nothing.
yeah. They'll make that back in a
A
couple
day,
hours.
yeah.
Yeah, probably a
So,
couple hours on pinball. Gamer House says, "Why are e-keys so expensive? Isn't it just a USB thumb drive that you can duplicate in your house?" No, you cannot duplicate those. Here's a big misconception. A lot of people think it's just a standard USB stick with some software on it. Those e-keys, that software and that hardware are combined. They go together. If you stick that in a normal computer and try to duplicate it, it will just brick it. So you cannot duplicate those e-keys. Um, whatsoever. So that's why they're so expensive because there's a limited amount of them. You used to be able to back in the day. You used to be able to, burn like the EEPROM chips and the game chips and stuff like that, and like the game software you can burn onto a key, but you cannot duplicate an E key. That's why they're so expensive on that. Um,
correct.
let's see. All right. Let's see. We're do. Bar top question. I saw a bar top IGT with multi-denom cats. Is that a G23? It's not a G23, but I mean it's similar software that goes in that. I mean the G23 is the actual cabinet of it, so that's a different cabinet from the G23, but pretty much the same software.
We
Um,
have those. We have some of
minus
those
a
bar
couple
tops
things. Yeah,
now.
the bar tops. That'd be kind of cool to have a bar top actually.
Hmm.
Like I was thinking about building a bar down here a little bit, so that would be something cool to have one day. But anyway, guys, if you are looking for any particular machine, um, I'm sure that Avery is his name. You can text
Yep.
him at this number on the screen there. Just text him and say, hey, do you have a cats, whatever, cats or pinball or
Whatever
top
it is.
dollar,
Yeah.
whatever it is. You can just text this number, talk to Avery about it. Again, as Chris mentioned, first five people are going to get some Amazon gift cards on top of the discount for mentioning this show. So you guys do get a discount for mentioning the show here, and also some of those Amazon gift cards. First five people only, right, Chris? Just
Yeah.
five.
First five people only.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have 100. We have $500 worth. So $100. You just get whatever. You know what I
All
mean.
right.
Four
So yeah.
long day.
So
Sorry.
No, you're good. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. We really do appreciate it. And Chris, thank you so much for joining us. I know it's been a while since we've had you on here,
It
but
has. We'll
um,
we'll, we'll get
you
back
know,
on on this again.
Chris is has a he's an encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to buying slot machines for your house. So be sure text over to that number a particular machine that you're looking for. Mention the show, save a little bit of money, get a chance to get some gift cards if you're one of the first five, and yeah, just see what they got because they got a lot of good stuff. I mean, all this stuff down here they've
Uh,
got, including a roulette. Do you still have the roulette wheels, Chris?
I have two or three
Have
left. So
two or three
yeah.
left. Those are pretty cool.
Hmm.
I love mine.
Yep.
I'm glad I was able to get one. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in tonight. Really do appreciate each and every one of you. As always, best of luck. Stay safe. We will see you again on the next episode. Take care, guys.